friends, Amanda here from Handmade Not Hallmark. Welcome back to the Pawsome Stamps YouTube channel. Today I've got this really fun Mother's Day card featuring this beautiful floral. Let's get into it. Today I'm using the Oopsy Daisy stamp set from the newest spring release, and I just love this stamp set. I pre-stamped everything ahead of time using some Copic friendly paper and some Copic friendly ink, and the colors I used will be listed alongside of the screen. Once all the coloring is finished, we'll come back and finish up this card together. Once I had all the coloring finished, I used the coordinating dies to cut out all of my images. Next, I took some paper from my stash to create a top-folding A2 sized card base and a panel of patterned paper from my stash as well to help set the scene for this card. I used some stitched rectangle dies from my stash to cut out some staggered rectangles for my card. Next, I have a white piece of cardstock here that I'm going to attach all of my florals to. I wanted to kind of create something somewhat simple, so if you wanted to recreate this idea multiple times for multiple occasions or multiple people in your life, you could do so, and it's really simple, using up some scrap paper from your stash to create this, again, simple, easy card that didn't take too awful long to create. The longest portion of this card was the coloring, so again, this card could be easily mass-produced. Just using some liquid glue to attach the stems to all of my floral images here, so I could create a nice little bunch of flowers. Once I had the stems all attached, I took some 3D foam adhesive strips to add my florals. I wanted to pop a few of them up, and I wanted the big floral to be flat against the back, just to add a little bit of dimension, not too much because I want it to be easy to mail. I'm going to add that same foam strips on the back of this floral here, just so everything is all the same height. Once I have all those attached to that one, I'm going to add some liquid glue to my big large floral for the background, and I think it looks so nice against that nice bright white cardstock. It really makes the floral pop. Sometimes it can be a little nerve-wracking coloring a white flower with gray, but once you add all the other colors around it, it really makes them pop and look really natural. Once I was happy with where I had my florals placed, I wanted to kind of clean up the end of the stems to look like they were cut flowers. So I just took some a white gel pen, and I kind of colored away the areas that I wanted to make it look like they were cut stems. I've shown this technique in a card before. It's kind of editing stamps is how I kind of like to phrase it. It's just a nice way to kind of clean up edges, or if you have any color over, or you want to kind of edit away something that you want to change a card, or change a stamp image. Once I was happy with that, I added some foam tape to the back of this floral as well, so it could be popped up along with the other. Again, just to add a little bit of dimension and interest to the card itself. I really enjoy these daisies. They're some of my favorite, and I can't wait to color them like Black-Eyed Susans for the summertime. They are some of my favorite florals, and I can't wait to grow some in my own garden. Once I had all that foam tape removed, I can position this one, and I think it looks so sweet, this nice little bunch of flowers. So ready for spring. Again, I took that white gel pen to kind of edit some of the areas that I had colored over, and I'm also going to use it to add in some white highlights to my florals just to add a little bit more interest. You can easily leave this step out if you choose. Just go with whatever you feel looks best and whatever is your personal preference. Once I had all that ready to go, I added some more foam tape to the back of this main panel. Again, just to add a little bit more interest. You could easily leave this step out. I just like the look of having a little bit more dimension. And this particular foam tape is not too thick. It is just the right depth to add that little bit of dimension. And we'll get that adhesive tape pulled away, and we'll get everything all nice and lined up. And you can see how easy and quick this card comes together, and how easily you could reproduce this card. Once I had that done, I wanted to create my greeting. So I just took that same purple cardstock from my stash and one of the greetings from the same Oopsy Daisy stamp set, and I'm going to heat emboss it with some clear sticky embossing ink and some white embossing powder that I have in my own personal stash. Once I had that stamped down and coated in the white embossing powder and heated up, I'm going to fussy cut out my image. I really like doing this with greetings that don't have any coordinating dies. I really think it's a nice way to kind of add some interest, and I really like these scripty ones. Sometimes they're hard to find flag or like kind of banner dies that fit perfectly with these kinds of greetings, the ones that are kind of a little bit misshapen. I just think it's easier to fussy cut them out, and it's really not that difficult, and it doesn't really take that long. I just sped through the process just to make the video go by a little faster, but it only took me about a minute to cut out this greeting, and I think it really adds some interest and movement for the card. Once I was happy with that, I just took that same foam tape I used on the florals earlier to help pop up the greeting so it was around the florals and it didn't interfere or kind of float in the way. I really love using this foam tape. I think it works great. It's nice dimension. And we'll get our greeting attached right there through the center of those florals. And we can get ready to go in with a few finishing details for this card. Once my greeting is exactly where I wanted it, I went in with a shimmer pen to add just a little bit more interest and shine to my card. Because this card is somewhat simple, adding simple elements like some shimmer and shine kind of really elevate the card. Next, I'm going to go in with some clear crystal drops from Nouveau just on the centers, again to add some interest. And the last thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to use some of my gold shimmer paint from my stash to add a little bit of gold interest and accents to the background. Again, this is completely optional, but I really felt like it added to the card and made it a little bit more interesting. And you can never go wrong with a little bit of gold. This will finish up my card for today. If you enjoyed this card and this video, please hit the like button as well as to subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos here at the Pawsome Stamps YouTube channel. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I can't wait to share with you the next one. I'll see ya. Bye.